Hola amigos, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I write contemporary romance books. Today I am going to be doing a tag video. I really like doing tag videos. They are so much fun, and this is actually a tag which I developed along with writer and author-tuber Fiona Howell. I'll make sure that I link her channel and all of her books down in the description below. So Fiona and I were going to read each other's books, and we thought that it was quite funny in a way because we write very different genres. So we thought, wouldn't it be interesting to kind of find out a little bit more about each other and about what we enjoy reading and writing, and be able to share that with you lovely people on YouTube. So we developed some questions for a tag, and I'm hoping that some other people will really like to do it as well. I will probably put the tags down in the description below for anybody who I think might like to do this, but if you just fancy doing this tag either with some other author tuber or with me, then please let me know when you do. I would really love to be able to watch your videos. That would be really great. So first of all, the book which I read was Fiona Howell's book Blackwood, and let's just take a little look at the cover of that because it is absolutely gorgeous. I think that it really conveys the feel of the book, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. Love it. Now, the first question that we have today, I'm very good actually. I've got all the questions up and I've got my notes and everything. Yeah, I took notes, okay? I'm a professional, what can I say? Anyway, the first question is, what genre do you write? So this is directed to me. So as I already said, I write contemporary romance set in the UK usually, and I also write children's picture books every now and again. Question number 2 is, what genre does your swap write? Fiona writes poetry, but she also writes historical fiction with definitely a kind of creepy gothic feel to it. So very different to what I write. What genres do you usually read? Right, I do try to read a wide variety of genres. Obviously, I love romance. I do read romance. I read quite a bit of women's fiction as well, romantic comedies. I also really like historical fiction. I like non-fiction, especially kind of memoirs, travel writing as well. I like funny books. I don't tend to like anything too sad or anything that's too scary, to be honest. But apart from that, I'm fine. But I was a little bit worried about reading Fiona's book because it did sound a little bit too scary for me, to be honest, but I was brave. Now, the next question is, what genres does your swap usually read? And Fiona tells me that she reads a bit of everything, but mostly historical fiction. And what did you like about your swap's book? Okay, so like I say, I was a little bit worried that it might be a bit too spooky for me, but actually it wasn't. It was scary, but I was fine with it. I coped. And it was scary in kind of a fun way, in that it gave you kind of, you know, like a little tingly, little scared feeling. Definitely a book to read when it's raining outside on a winter's evening when you're kind of all snuggled up. I really like the setting as well. The book is set in Yorkshire. In fact, actually, what I could do, what would be a good idea, is if I read out the blurb to you so that you get a really good idea of what the book's about. So the blurb is, it's 1945 in Yorkshire, England. Sarah Clark, a former World War II nurse, goes to live with her sick Uncle Charles and young cousin in the country. Plagued with nightmares, Sarah hopes that Blackwood Manor will be a fresh and happy start for her after the horrors of the war. Soon, terrifying things start to happen in the house and grounds of the manor. Sarah does her best to protect her young cousin William from the dark past that haunts Blackwood Manor. Sarah realises too late that she cannot save everyone. I mean, how cool does that sound? And it was really cool. Yeah, I love the writing style, and what I really loved about this book was the gothic feel about it. I think it was something to do with it being set in Yorkshire and this kind of old manor house. The time setting was also really lovely as well. So it takes place just after the end of the Second World War, which, as it said in the blurb, Sarah has been serving in as a nurse, so she's dealt with the horrors of the war. The language that is used was really, really good. It seemed to capture the time period perfectly. And yeah, I was just very easily absorbed into this book. Would you keep reading this genre is the next question. I don't know, because I am a little concerned that I might find something too scary in it. So I think I would, but I'd be quite careful about what I chose. And I would definitely read another one of Fiona's books. And maybe this might encourage me to try some kind of scarier books, because I did enjoy that little slightly scared feeling, and I was definitely drawn into the story because of it, because I really was desperate to know what would happen to Sarah and what was behind all these strange happenings that were going on in the house. Then the next question is, were there any crossovers between your book and your Swaps book? They aren't really very similar. I mean, they're both set in the UK. Fiona read my latest book, Falling in Love at Nightingale Farm. So that's set actually in the south of England as opposed to Yorkshire. So my book is written in the third person, hers is in the first person, mine is contemporary, hers is set in the 1940s. There is a little bit of a love story going through Blackwood, but it's definitely not a central part of the plot. So I would say that they're actually quite different. Does your swap have any other books available? Yes, she's got one other book available on Amazon, and it is called, let me just check this, The Locked Box. Where is your swap from? Fiona is originally from Queens, Long Island, New York. And the final question is, where does your swap live? Because we thought that this would be an interesting question to add in, because that could really make a difference as to what your writing is like and the differences between your book and the book that you're reviewing, because obviously I live in the UK and Fiona lives in New Hampshire now in the US, which I was really pleased to hear, because one of my closest friends also lives in New Hampshire and I miss her a lot at the moment, so I like to hear anything about New Hampshire. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this tag today. I would really love it if anybody would like to take a turn at doing this tag. I'm more than happy to do it with you if you want somebody to swap with, or, you know, feel free, like, invite anybody to swap with you. But do make sure that if you do it, that you tag me and Fiona as well in your video so that we can go and watch it. Make sure that you boop that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.